And honestly, I still think it was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It started with laughter, a harmless moment. But the seed, once planted, would...
I always believed that a little teasing was just a sign of a strong, comfortable love. My husband, Aaron, never really fought back when I'd make a joke at his expense. He'd just offer a quiet smile and let it go. I took his patience for granted, thinking it had no limit. One night we had friends over for dinner. In the middle of a lively conversation, I made another jab at him. I called him soft, saying he let people walk all over him. The room filled with laughter, but Aaron's chair was silent. He didn't argue or try to defend himself. He simply excused himself and stepped outside for some air. I felt a small, uneasy flutter in my chest but pushed it aside. Later that night I told him he was being overly dramatic. He just nodded, his silence a heavy blanket in the room. The next morning, he was up and out of bed before I woke, without the usual kiss on my forehead. That was the beginning. His silence started to grow, day by day becoming louder than any argument we'd ever had. My jokes, once a way to get a reaction, now fell flat. He'd just offer a polite, distant smile and walk away. That calm detachment scared me more than any angry outburst ever could have. When I finally asked him if something was wrong, he simply said he was just thinking. He started pouring more of himself into his work, staying late at the office. He began dressing sharper, hitting the gym. Our friends noticed the change in him before I did. One evening, trying to get under his skin, I mocked him, calling it a midlife crisis. That's when he finally stopped and looked at me, his eyes holding a seriousness I hadn't seen before. He told me he'd spent years shrinking himself to make me feel comfortable and powerful. He said my jokes had become a constant reminder of how little I respected him. I tried to laugh it off, but my throat tightened. He then told me he had signed up for a leadership development program in another city. He needed space, he said, to find the person he was before he started making himself small for me. I accused him of being dramatic again, a desperate attempt to regain control. He looked at me calmly and replied, "I'm done being small." That night he packed a bag. Even as he walked out the door, a part of me didn't believe he would actually leave, but he did. The silence in the house was deafening. I sent him a few texts with our old inside jokes, trying to lighten the mood, to pull him back into our old dynamic. He never replied. Days bled into weeks. I started to miss his quiet, steady presence more than I could have imagined. I replayed my words, my careless jokes over and over in my head, each one a small cut. When friends asked where he was, I mumbled excuses, the shame hot on my face. When he finally returned, he was a different man, confident, centered, and undeniably distant. He thanked me. He said I had shown him who he was becoming without me. That one sentence hurt more than any fight we ever had. For the first time, I apologized, and I truly meant it. He listened patiently, without interruption. He told me that love without respect is a slow, quiet suffocation. When I asked if our marriage was over, he said he needed time to decide. That uncertainty was terrifying. It was then I realized I had built my confidence on the foundation of his loyalty, assuming it was unbreakable. I stopped making jokes at his expense. I started listening to him, really listening, instead of just waiting for my turn to perform. Slowly, tentatively, communication began to return. But the old dynamic was gone forever. He no longer looked to me for approval. And while that scared me, it also earned my genuine admiration. One evening he told me he had chosen to stay. Not because he needed me, but because he wanted to try and rebuild our marriage on equal ground. The old relationship, he said, was dead. I agreed, knowing there was no going back. We started couples counseling. I learned that what I called sarcasm was often just cruelty in disguise, and that his silence wasn't weakness but self-preservation. Aaron learned to voice his hurt instead of swallowing it. Our marriage is quieter now, but it's deeper and more honest. I no longer tease him to feel big. I admire the man he's become. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.